is the news on STEM Radio Vision, Elisha. First, the headlines. Togo, Niger, Benin owe Nigeria 25 billion naira for electricity, NAC. 5 trillion naira VAT windfall for state as new formula begins. Southwest APC rallies Umishere, Babayemi for victory. Super Eagles bonuses approved, payments on the way, NSC. Trump withdraws US from 66 international organizations. Now the news in full. I am Chidima Abel. Togo, Niger, and Benin Republic owe Nigeria 17.8 million US dollars, an equivalent of over 25 billion naira at the current exchange rate for electricity supplied under bilateral arrangement, the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission has said. In its third quarter 2025 report, NAC disclosed that the three international customers were invoiced a total of 18.6 million US dollars by the market operator for electricity supplied during the period, but they remitted only 7.125 million US dollars, leaving an outstanding balance of 11.56 million US dollars. Similarly, the international bilateral customers had legacy invoices of 14.7 million US dollars, out of which they paid 7.84 million US dollars, leaving a balance of 6.23 million US dollars. The point reports that the debt incurred from the previous quarters and that of third quarter 2025 amounted to 17.8 million US dollars. This is 25 billion at an exchange rate of 1,000 naira per dollar. According to NAC, the three international bilateral customers purchasing power from the grid-connected GENCOs made a cumulative payment of 7.125 million US dollars against the 18.69 million US dollars invoice issued to them by the market operator for services rendered in 2025 third quarter. The 36 states of the Federation are said to receive an estimated 5 trillion naira as their share of value-added tax in 2026, following the commencement of a new VAT sharing formula introduced under the National Tax Act. This development is contained in the 2026 to 2028 medium-term expenditure framework and fiscal strategy paper approved by the Federal Executive Council. According to the fiscal framework, the implementation of the new National Tax Act from January 2026 will reduce the federal government VAT share from 15% to 10%, while the state share rises from 50% to 55%, and local government continue to receive 35%. According to the projections in the MTEF/FSP document, the federal government's VAT allocation is expected to drop to 922 billion naira in 2026, down from 1 trillion naira in 2025, even as the VAT pool itself grows significantly year on year.
Snow Music Studio.
Ahead of Osun State 2026 governorship election, bid for August 8, the State Working Committee of All Progressives Congress has rallied the 8th governorship aspirant to close ranks and work as a united front ahead of the poll. The party said the emergence of Asiwaju Munuruddin Bola Oyebamiji as a party standard bearer has sent jitters into the ruling party's camp. A statement yesterday by the party's director of media, Chief Kola Olabisi, said rising from APC maiden meeting in the new year, the state chairman, Tajuddin Lawal, was full of praises for the 8 governorship aspirants who embraced the emergence of Oyebamiji without resorting to crisis, rancor, and animosity. And now on the sports scene, the chairman of the National Sports Commission, Shehu Diko, has said that all financial entitlement of Super Eagles players and officials have been resolved. The news agency of Nigeria reports that Diko's remarks followed reports of players threatening to boycott training and travel to Marrakech for Saturday's match against Algeria. Diko told NAN that President Bola Tinubu approved the Super Eagles' AFCON 2025 budget in November 2025, bringing alignment among the NSC, the Nigeria Football Federation, and the players. He, however, explained that approval and processing were two different stages, but assured players that the funds have been approved and were being released. And now on the foreign scene, President Donald Trump has ordered the United States to withdraw from 66 international organizations, including major UN agencies, hastening Washington's retreat from multilateral cooperation. Trump signed an executive order on Wednesday directing U.S. Department to end participation in and funding for 31 United Nations entities and 35 non-UN organizations as soon as possible, according to a White House release. These organizations span climate change, conservation, counterterrorism, and human rights, among other fields. The United States Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, has said the withdrawal of the United States from 66 international organizations follows a comprehensive review by the President Donald Trump administration of what he describes as wasteful, ineffective, and harmful international institutions. According to the statement, the Trump administration concluded that the affected institutions no longer serve the interests of the United States.
Music Studio.
And now to end the news, here is a recap of our stories. We thought it that Togo, Niger, and Benin Republic owe Nigeria 17.8 million US dollars, an equivalent of over 25 billion naira at the current exchange rate, for electricity supplied under bilateral arrangement, the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission has said. We also told you that the 36 states of the Federation are said to receive an estimated 5 trillion naira as their share of value-added tax in 2026, following the commencement of a new VAT sharing formula introduced under the National Tax Act. We also told you that ahead of Osun State 2026 governorship election, bid for August 8, the State Working Committee SWC of All Progressives Congress has rallied the 8th governorship aspirant to close ranks and work as a united front ahead of the poll. The chairman of the National Sport Commission, Shehu Diko, has said that all financial entitlement of Super Eagles players and officials have been resolved. Lastly, we told you that President Donald Trump has ordered the United States to withdraw from 66 international organizations, including major UN agencies, hastening Washington's retreat from multilateral cooperation. That ends the news on STM Radio Vision, Elisha, Osun State, Nigeria. The news was edited by Afolabi Adenipekun and was brought to you by Chidima Abel. Thanks for listening. Good morning.
Snow Music Studio.